The woman loosened her belt, then slowly began to take off her pants. Jack, standing to the side, took just one glance at Annie's nearly perfect figure. Then, without hesitation, he stepped forward, bent down, and picked up Annie's pants. Right after that, Jack also took off his own pants. He then walked over to a nearby foul-smelling drainage ditch. To make the two pairs of pants more durable and tough, Jack soaked them completely in the water. Then he pulled out the belts and used them to tightly fasten two overlapping wooden sticks together. Annie, watching this unfold from behind, directly asked Jack what he was doing, but Jack only responded with a comforting smile. Although Annie didn't get an answer, she had no choice but to support his idea if they were going to escape the deep pit. Staring at the tool he had just made, Jack did his best to suppress the excitement in his heart. He grabbed an extra pair of pants from the ground and tied them firmly onto the wooden stick. Then he carefully began studying the surrounding terrain. Soon enough, he spotted a spot inside the pit where the two walls were relatively close together. Without waiting any longer, Jack hurled the stick with all his strength toward the edge of the pit. Although it fell back down and nearly struck him, he didn't give up hope. He picked it up and threw it again, but it still failed to catch. It wasn't until the third time that Jack approached it more cautiously. This time, as he threw the stick, it finally caught onto the edge and formed a makeshift support. Seeing the bridge that could lead them out, the two exchanged a glance full of unspoken joy. Jack tested its strength that held up even when he pulled it hard. He placed his left foot against the wall, grabbed the rope with both hands, and began climbing upward inch by inch. But the smooth walls made every movement extremely difficult. The closer he got to the surface, the more weight the stick had to support, so he had no choice but to climb faster. At this point, he was only one step away from reaching the top. But then, an accident happened. Jack fell from above. He clutched his knee tightly, lying motionless on the ground. Annie rushed over to check on him. She quickly gave him a simple bandage. Only then did she notice the injury on Jack's knee and understand how much pain he had endured. More importantly, their chance of escaping the deep pit now seemed further away than ever. Suddenly, Jack felt drops of water falling from the sky. He realized that hope for their escape had returned. As the rain started pouring harder, the water on the ground began flowing into the pit. In just a short while, the dirty water had already submerged their knees. They pressed their bodies tightly against the wall. As long as the water level rose to be level with the surface, they could successfully escape. But just then, Annie suddenly slipped and fell. At that moment, Jack couldn't care less about the perfect timing to escape.